Hey guys, happy Monday. Today is November 2nd, 2020. Today we are continuing our Unit 3 place value. In your journals on a new clean page, please write the following: decimals to the thousandths on a number line. If you need to pause the video here, go ahead and pause the video so that you can get that written on a new clean page. Today, students will locate and plot decimal values through the thousandths place on a number line. Here is a we do, and I just want you to put your pencils down and watch and pay attention. So we have worked with decimals through the tenths, the hundredths, and now the thousandths, and so we are just going to review some number lines. So here I've done the first one for you, and I want you to look to see that this is a 0 and this is a 1. And then I broke it down into tenths. So 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10 being the middle, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, all the way through our 1. And here we have the first line, which is plotted, which is 3/10. Now the second line that is plotted, I want you to notice that it is between 8/10 and 9/10, but it's closer to that 9/10. So if we actually break down our tenths into hundredths, it makes it a lot easier to be able to know exactly what the answer is going to be. So here is that next one. So again, we have our 0 and our 1, and then we've broken it down even more into the hundredths. So your 3/10 can also be written as 30 100ths, and our 8/10 can be 80 100ths and 90 100ths. So if I count from 80 and I count 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, I can plot this as being 87 hundredths. So that would be how you could do it through the hundredths. It's the exact same number line, we just divided it even more. And so this next one is the one I really want you to see. It's like zooming into our hundredths, breaking it down to even smaller. Now it's our thousandths. So we have 42 hundredths, or 420 thousandths, and then 430 thousandths, 440 thousandths, 450 thousandths. And if we look in between, it's skip counting by twos. So this would be 422, 424, 426, 428 thousandths, and so on. So if I look to see at this one would actually be 428 thousandths. And that's what we're doing today. It's just practicing extending out the decimals and adding on that last place value, but noticing that it's just still the same exact number lines. We're just making it smaller and smaller and smaller. So as the values get bigger on the right side of the decimal, the actual decimal places are smaller values. Okay, so if you have your Orgo workbook, this next part is inside of there. It's page 16. We're going to do our warm-up inside of there. So if you can look on your page 16, if you need to pause the video here to get it to that page, we're just going to go through our warm-up that's here in between. It says locating thousandths on the number line. On each number line, the distance between each whole number is a 1. It's a whole number. So you have your 1, your 2, and your 3. It says, what decimal fraction describes the positions marked on the orange arrow? And how could you figure out the decimal fraction of the green arrow? Well, if I look in between, it looks like it's marked into our tenths. So I would simply just count. I have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10. So I have a 1 that's here, and so I would write 1 and 6/10. Now for the second one, for the green, I would do the same thing, but this one is in my 2. So my first part would be 2, and this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, So it's going to be 7/10, but we're also going to need to zoom in a little bit more. So we have our 2 and 7, that is going to be about 7/10. But look and see, this is splitting in between your 7 and also the 8 here. So the smaller unit part is the same number line, it's just been split into hundreds. So again, we know it's going to be 2 and 7/10, but then when we look, we have our 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. So then I would count 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. So it's actually 2 and 75 hundredths, 2 and 75 hundredths. So this one is through our tenths. This one is the exact same thing. It's just been zoomed in. Now, here's the smaller part of the same number that's split into thousandths. So here we have 2 and 75 hundredths, but they added that 0, so it's 75 thousandths. So it's zoomed in even tighter. Now, if I'm looking, what decimal fraction would you say is between 750 and 200 and 760 thousandths? So we have 2 and 750. So this would be 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So the one that would split this in the middle would read what? It would read 2 and 755 thousandths. So it's splitting them up. So you're just thinking about it being completely zoomed in. And that's what we are practicing today. Here's another we do. I want you to pause the video after you hear my explanation, and I want you to write down the decimals that are the values on the number lines for the green arrows that are marked. So pause the video here and check and see if you can do those on your own before we go to the exit ticket and independent practice. You should have had a 2 and 754 thousandths, and this one should read 2 and 760, and if you count it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 67. And that is what we are working on today, is practicing knowing what the decimals are on a number line as well. So your independent practice or your exit ticket is page 17. You're going to be doing A and B are putting numbers on the number lines as they are filling in for the thousandths place. And then your number 3, you're going to draw a line representing where these numbers would go on a number line. Remember that the 0 means there's 0 holes. The 1 means that there's 1 hole, and so on. So do those now, and then we will check in to make sure that you did those correctly. And then your independent practice is on Khan Academy. There's a thousandths on a number line. It's a 2-minute video. And then your graded part for today is decimals on the number line through your thousandths. And that is it for today. And if you need to go back to the video to review any of our notes from today, please do so. Write down whatever you think you need to, and I will see you guys soon.